Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second video I've posted in the last 10 hours. We need to update the price action. It's 2:30 a.m. We've had a lot of late nights recently here in Australia, just looking at these charts, and we're just going to have to keep the ball going here. This is part of the game, part of the job, part of the gig. So let's get into it. 61K level, the level we've been talking about for the last 2.5 months, I'd say. Ever since we got above 61K, we recognized immediately that it was a major level. And it's not a major level because of the price action necessarily. I mean, that's one of the reasons. But the main reason it's a major level is because of the monthly chart, okay? We look at the monthly candles. We look at the 2021 all-time high monthly candle at 61K. And we notice that if we zoom across, we draw a horizontal line there in green. All of these monthly candle closes, 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive monthly candle closes have all closed or opened at the 61K region. Guys, what we're looking at here at 61K is not just a random support zone that I've picked out of thin air for being the macro support that Bitcoin needs to hold. I'm looking at a foundational level that stems back to 2021. It goes much further than just observational TA of a local range. This is a macro level, okay? It's a monthly chart level stemming back from 2021 with 4 consecutive candles opening or closing in that price region over and over again. And also on top of that, it's also a regular observational support level that we briefly deviated below to go to the 70K region, the 57K region over here where I just circled to retest bull market support band, which was actually predicted by myself in this YouTube channel. And right now that bull market support band has moved up to, guess where? It's moved up to 61K, guys, right? So all these things that happen here, they're not just coincidences, they happen for a reason. The 61K support, there's a reason I've been talking about it so extensively for the last 2.5 months, okay? It's because it actually matters. And when I'm talking about this level, notice how I'm focusing mainly on the monthly chart. This is where we get into the important part of this video, right? And this is extremely important. I'm looking for Bitcoin to hold 61K on the monthly candle. I don't necessarily care what happens on the short term. So long as we remain above something like 57K, or so long as we don't go too low or form structures that are too bearish here, we have to understand that if we're talking about making macro decisions, okay, so selling our altcoins or selling our Bitcoin or making a big decision that is meant to be made based on macro price action, again, we need to make macro decisions based on macro price action. And macro price action can only be determined based on macro breakdowns. And sometimes when it comes to macro breakdowns, you actually have to wait for the macro indicators to take place. Some of those indicators can be candles. And in this case, the monthly candle is very important. So we're going to have to wait for the monthly candle. And the monthly candle realistically is in 6 days and 8 hours. Now, the good news is we'll get kind of 2 birds with 1 stone because we've got the weekly candle as well in 6 days and 8 hours. So we've got the monthly candle in 6 days and 8 hours. We've got the weekly candle in 6 days and 8 hours. We've got the monthly candle, monthly chart level at 61K, which we need to maintain. And we've got the weekly candle levels, as in the bull market support band, as in the price cycle lines, sitting in the same region at 61K. So what I'm looking at right now is the monthly close and the weekly close. They're happening together. And both of the monthly and weekly candle closes, within those, there's certain nuances, but for the most part, both of them need to be above 61K. So in 6 days and 8 hours, we see the weekly and monthly candle close, and we need those closes to be above 61K. That's just the bottom line of the situation. It goes much deeper than the price chart as well. It goes into things like the monthly chart RSI and a pattern that's emerged over the course of Bitcoin's cyclical structure. We've got yellow lines on the price chart here that divide historical bear markets from bull markets, okay, in each cycle. We also have a yellow line, as you can see on the RSI, at 67 on the RSI. What you'll notice, if you look at the screen very closely, is that every time we retest these levels on the price chart for resistance, we are also retesting the RSI level for resistance, meaning that these lines, the yellow line in the price charts, the yellow lines on the price chart and the yellow line on the RSI, they're connected, okay? So every yellow line you see on the screen right now, they're connected. So if we break the yellow line on the RSI, which we are threatening to do on this unconfirmed monthly candle close, we are adding an extra element of bearishness to the price charts. Not only would we be breaking down from 61K, not only would we be seeing a weekly candle close below bull market support band and price cycle center lines, but we'd also be breaking a critical, foundational, cyclical RSI support level in the monthly chart. So again, There's another reason why we need to maintain this monthly candle close above 61k. And then moving forward into something like the total 3, which is the altcoin market cap chart, we can see that the altcoin market cap has already broken down to some degree from bull market support band and other dynamic indicators. It still is holding on to ascending support line here in blue, and that's ascending support line is stemming backwards from November. For the most part, I'm not actually focusing too much on the total 3 because I believe the total 3 can see deviations. I'm focusing more on Bitcoin because, for me personally, I'm looking at the altcoin market cap chart and I'm thinking, if this chart breaks down below the support line and it goes downwards, but Bitcoin manages to maintain above 61k, am I actually too concerned about it, or do I just think that's a deviation? And I think my logical answer is that's just a deviation. But yeah, look, it is under pressure as well. I understand I've shifted my opinion a little bit on it in the last few days, for the most part, and that's attributable to a few things. For example, Bitcoin dominance has dropped downwards quite a bit recently. I mean, it's dropped downwards about 2%. Which is quite significant in the last 5 or 6 days, as the total 3 has been retesting the support zone, representing basically people are holding their altcoins here. They're actually holding their altcoins, and right now people are actually selling a lot more Bitcoin and Ethereum than there are altcoins. That's probably because altcoins are on support, and so people are actually stacking altcoins here rather than selling altcoins here. And that's given Bitcoin time to catch up to where the altcoin market cap is. So the altcoin market cap, by the way, has dropped below the bull market support band, and Bitcoin now is hovering below it as well. So the fact that Bitcoin dominance has dropped over the last few days has given Bitcoin and the rest of the market an opportunity to catch up to where altcoins are at. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. It's like 2:42 a.m. here. It's very, very late. It's almost 3 a.m. So I don't know if that makes sense. But the point I'm trying to make is that what's more important here is Bitcoin's health. And if Bitcoin manages to close the weekly and monthly candle closes above 61k in 6 days, I don't think 6 days of deviation is going to be too concerning for the altcoin market cap. I don't. Will we have to reassess some of the macro structures and macro trends? Yes, we probably would. But in terms of the actual health of the macro support level, 6 days of deviation is not really going to be the end of the world. And by the way, that level is still holding at the moment in the ascending blue level. So I'm going to clarify that a bit more in tomorrow's video because I think I explained that quite badly. But again, I'm trying to get this video out. It is 3 a.m. here. And just for full clarity, you can call me an idiot if you want to, but you certainly can't call me cowardly because I've actually made some altcoin buys in this price region. Some low-risk altcoin buys. I've looked at altcoins that are on their macro support zones, given the fact that the altcoin market cap is on its macro support zone, and so is Bitcoin. And I've made some low-risk buys that I can cut my losses on quite quickly if the market does drop much further. So again, you can call me an idiot if you want, but you can't call me cowardly. This is not a time where a lot of people are buying, and I am happy to have some risk here in the market. So right now, again, I hope that made sense, by the way, that altcoin segment. But right now, again, Bitcoin dominance dropping a little bit, giving altcoins a bit of breathing room as they are under an immense amount of pressure. We've discussed that many, many times in the past few days. I don't want to dive into it too much here today, but what I do want to dive into and what I did dive into is the 61k level, the monthly and weekly chart, those candle closes coming in 6 days and 8 hours, and how important those closes are for the Bitcoin chart and the overall health of the market. I can't stress that enough. We can see these short-term drops below the 61k level. It's the closes that are going to put the nail in the coffin if the market is indeed doomed. So let's wait and see what happens with those closes. And obviously, by the way, if the market does drop too low, if we do see too much bearish price action before those closes, we can obviously make a decision sooner than the close. We don't have to wait 6 days if it looks absolutely terrible. But right now, I mean, we've only been below 61k for literally 2 hours. I don't think it's too concerning at this point. We've seen worse, right? We saw 4 days below 61k on this 57k deviation. So it's not like we're in a massively time-constrained position every time we drop below 61k. No, this happens. It's happened throughout this range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And this is the 8th time. So it's not particularly abnormal. We just need it to be relatively short-lived. Guys, I hope this video made enough sense. I hope it was articulate enough. I'm sorry for not taking the time to refilm that altcoin segment. Again, this is my second video I've made today, and it is very late here. Thank you so much for watching, though. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, just looking at the levels that I'm looking at for invalidation. But right now, I don't see the invalidation having occurred yet. We are under immense pressure here for the market. That's the brutal reality. So let's wait and see, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video. Before we end it, though, check out the BitGet, BingX, and BitTuneX exchanges. The 3 exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel. The links are down in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment. With those links, those sign-up links, you can sign up, obviously, and get a 15% trading fee discount for life on those exchanges. You can also check out the bull market sale we're currently having for the Become a Trader 10 unit course. Obviously, if the market drops too much more, we might have to rename that sale. But yeah, check it out if you're interested in learning how to trade. We've got educational content there, very reasonably priced, very good value for what you get as well. And then finally, we've got our VIP group on Telegram, trading altcoins 4 to 5 times a week with buying signals, selling, take profits, stop loss, all these kind of things you need to trade a coin effectively with a 77.51% win rate. And also, probably more importantly for a lot of people, access to a group chat where you can discuss the market 24/7 with myself and other members. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.